to the comedy stage. A woman who I got introduced to through a friend of mine in the US Air Force. Somebody who I've been chatting to literally on the internet. Oh God, that's so bad. I don't believe I just said that. And she's come all the way this evening from Geilenkirchen, a professor by day, poker by night. Let me introduce to you Charlene Scott Gibson.
To be here tonight. Thank you for having me. So I missed the German summer. Not that that was hard, but I chose instead to go back to Texas because my sister was getting married this July. Yes, it was awesome. And she asked me very kindly to be her maid of honor. I was thrilled. So, yeah, the only problem was being this far away in Germany, of course, I didn't really have the opportunity to help plan. So I thought that by the time I got back to Texas, a week before the wedding, the only things that were going to be left there for me to do would be to tie those stupid little ribbons on those dumb little bottles of bubbles and give her the sex talk. Yeah, sad thing, I'm not kidding. See, I was a virgin when I got married. Yeah, probably because my very British, very conservative mother, when I asked her about sex, told me the following. It's a box on an application that you check off that says whether you're male or female. Yeah, fat lot of good that did me. Imagine me on my wedding night, husband shutting the door behind him saying, "So, sex?" And me looking at him very coyly and saying, "Female." Yeah, needless to say, that didn't really work. And I probably should mention at this point I am divorced. So I thought I was going to do my sister a favor, right? So that was the plan. Anyway, so I have to get back to Texas, so I hop on a flight with KLM. They are my favorite. I love the food, I love the service, I love the people. Most importantly, I love the individual TV screens. There's a very important reason for this. While you might think that your €800 ticket back to the States is merely a little hop across the pond, for me, it's an opportunity to cram in all of the pop culture I possibly can. Yeah. There's a reason for this, too. You see, for an American living in Germany who goes back to the States, you can have one of two reactions. Yeah. The first one is, oh, you live in Germany? This happens when someone asks you if you've seen the latest Twilight film, and your answer is no. This is because you have taken no time whatsoever to keep up with the pop culture of a country that clearly thinks it is superior to yours. I myself, however, prefer the alternative, which is having the international mystery and mystique. Having someone look at me when I go back and say, "Oh, you live in Germany." The way that I do this is by keeping up with the pop culture that they know nothing about. So when I get on the plane, I watch all the documentaries, all of the foreign films, all the things that will make me sound smart. Yeah. So that when I get back to the States and someone asks me if I have seen the latest Twilight film, I can look at them and go, no. Have you seen Le Sacre-Cœur de la Bois? Darling little documentary that came out of South Africa this year. Anyone with any kind of worldview has to see it. You should try that. It works every time. Yeah. They get so embarrassed that they don't dare ask you about any other movies you may or may not have seen. Therefore, I avoid embarrassment myself. Problem solved. Yeah, so I'm looking through my list of movies to see what my options are, the courtesy of KLM, when I come across The Cove. Now, I don't know if you all know about this little documentary, but it's a story of a man who takes on the Japanese fishing industry in this tiny town, where they have been slaughtering these poor, innocent, adorable dolphins by the hundreds and thousands for years. Yeah. Completely depressing. Completely awful. Completely a perfect choice for a transatlantic flight. I mean, what else was I going to do? Drink? No, I'm totally kidding. I did that too, especially after this movie. 10 minutes in, I am bawling my eyes out, literally weeping, sobbing. Yeah, to the point where the stewardess comes over to me and says, "Are you all right?" And I look at her and she looks at me. "Well, we're going to be serving dinner soon." Like that's going to magically make me feel better. Ooh, food. Yeah. She said, "Well, would you like the chicken or the fish?" "I am watching dolphins being slaughtered on my little television. Of course I want the chicken." 5 minutes later, when she brings said chicken dinner to my little pop-out table, I think I have made the morally conscious choice until I take the lid off of my salad, only to find a chunk of salmon this big sitting on a bed of lettuce. Yeah, I may never eat fish again. Anyway, after all of that, finally made it back to Texas, flew into Dallas. My sister very graciously has offered to drive all the way up from the tiny oil town of Kingsville, Texas, all the way up to Dallas to pick me up. Kingsville, you know, Kingsville's awesome. Oh, my sister will be thrilled. 10 hours, okay, this drive is. So I figured it'll give us plenty of time to get caught up. A couple of hours in, she says, "Okay, well, let's talk about the things I have left to do for the wedding." Awesome. Maid of honor has begun. I'm ready. I have my notepad. I have my pen. I say, go. She says, "Okay, flowers. Great. Do we need to arrange delivery? Do we need to ask the florist to drop them off? What's the plan?" She said, No. I need to order my flowers." "We have a week before the wedding. And you mean to tell me you haven't even thought about your flowers yet?" She said, "Oh yeah, I've thought about them. I need 11 bouquets for the bridesmaids, a bouquet for me, a throwaway bouquet for me, a boutonniere for the groom, 11 boutonnieres for the groomsmen, about 16 corsages and boutonnieres for the madrinas and padrinos. I want 4 big altar arrangements for the front of the church, and I want 6 little ones for the windows on the sides." It is then I realized my job as maid of honor is going to be to take a bullet for the bride when she hands this list to the florist. The rest of the trip home is like this, list upon list, when I realize I have a week to plan an entire wedding. Yeah. Luckily, there was some good news for me. As it turns out, the florist was my sister's best friend's husband's mother. Convenient, joys of a small town. Better news for me, she doesn't own a gun. Which in Texas is a little bit of a surprise, because you never know who might. Yeah, so I was pretty thrilled about that. However, I must say that was not the worst thing that happened all week. 3 days before the wedding, we're driving in the car, and my sister suddenly says, "Oh my God, what have we forgotten?" I'm looking at my list all over everything. I realize I don't have anything written down about a dress. "Oh my God, please tell me you have a dress." Yeah, of course I have a dress. Thank God, it's the only thing you have at this point. Oh. So I said, "Okay, what is it? What do you need? What do you want?" She says, "I want cocktail napkins." Now, we're not talking about the brightly colored little napkins you can just go pick up at the store. No. My sister is talking about the special wedding cocktail napkins. You know the ones. The foil stamping with the bride's name and the groom's name and the date of the nuptials and this little picture symbolizing eternal love and happiness across the top. I wouldn't know I didn't have cocktail napkins at my wedding. Probably another reason I'm divorced. I told her, I said, you can't just go to the store and buy the cocktail napkins. You go to the store to buy the bridal magazine to tear out the card, or if you're on a budget, tear out the card, leave the magazine, run away from the store very fast, fine. Fill out the card, send it to China, get the samples, send back your order, confirm your order, spread out the napkins around the drinks and the cake, and have a happy day. This process is going to take 2 months. She looks at me in my escalating state of panic and says, what are you talking about? We have a guy down the street. You mean to tell me you have 150 people who live in this town and one of them happens to be cocktail napkin stamping guy? Great. So off we go. She's driving down the road. She whips up in front of this abandoned garage. Oh my God, I can say garage here. I have a lot of friends. Oh, I was totally shunned as a child for saying garage. You have no idea. I love you all. So we pull up in front of this abandoned garage. And I'm looking around, and there's nothing but car parts strewn everywhere. And everything is covered in dust and rust. And I realize I have probably missed an important prerequisite of being a maid of honor, which might have been to be getting a tetanus shot. Yeah, missed that one. So I'm looking around. I have no idea why we're here. And then it occurs to me, I'm like, oh, right, cake topper. Apparently not. She decided instead to go around the back of the building, where I hear this very strange, dull thudding sound. Dunk. Dunk. It occurs to me at this point, cocktail napkin stamping guy is actually a drug dealer. Yeah. I mean, why else would you have a guy who stamps cocktail napkins in a small town in Texas that's this close to Mexico? I mean, the drug cartels are running amok down there. It's crazy. I think, oh my God, we're going to die. This wedding planning is scary business. Jeez. So I'm looking around trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm thinking, we're about to witness another guy whose death is going to be listed as blunt force trauma. I am not okay with this. So we go around the corner, and I see this very old man sitting in an office with a light shining on his head, doing this. My friends, we have just met cocktail napkin stamping guy. He actually stamps himself. Yeah. So my sister walks in, he says, so, how many napkins can I get for you? She said, 300, please. For Saturday. This is 3 days away for those of you keeping track. He says, okay, what color would you like? She says, lilac. Well, everything that he has is either 2 aubergine or 2 lavender. Naturally. He says, oh, that's okay, I can go into Corpus tomorrow and pick up some more. At this point, my sister begins looking concerned, and I think, you know what? This is good. She'll take 100, call it a day, we're out of here. She says, well, if you're going to go to Corpus anyway to pick them up, I guess I'll take 400. So, Melissa, the man is so old, it's probably going to take him a whole day just to get to town and back. I said, I don't think this is a good idea. But just then, I had a perfect stroke of genius as maid of honor, my first. This was my plan. I'm going to get on a plane, and I'm going to fly to Las Vegas. And there I shall rent a van. And then I will go into a casino, and I will steal 20 old men sitting at slot machines and put them in my van and drive them back to Houston. You know why? Because slot machine and cocktail napkin stamping is the same damn thing. Yeah. Yeah. And if I take them back and I put on a short skirt and I walk around with free drinks and the occasional peanuts, they might not even know they have left Las Vegas. Yeah. You give me 20 old men, I give them 20 napkins each, and I will have 400 napkins done 20 minutes before the wedding. Thank you guys, have been awesome. Have a good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charlene Scott Gibson. I am just so glad that I didn't call her Charlotte. Because that's what I had written on my piece of paper, and she just went, Charlie. I went, okay, sorry about that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce